Welcome to Doc's Download, the podcast edition, where real conversations meet real Buckeye life. I'm your host, Dr. Melissa Shivers, Senior Vice President for Student Life, and better known as Doc, here to bring you stories, strategies, and a few laughs along the way. Whether you're a brand new Buckeye or a seasoned one, consider this your all-access pass to tips, truths, and triumphs straight from the heart of campus. Let's dive in, everybody. One of my favorite things about Ohio State is the incredible range of student organizations that we have on our campus. It's truly a long-standing tradition that students are able to think about things that they care about and then move that into some sort of action, which can then turn into a club. And sometimes when students join our community, they're like, wait, there's a club for that? Are you kidding me? How did that happen? Did you know that there was an arm wrestling club? Our students continue to amaze me with their level of creativity, passion, and also your leadership. Today's episode definitely falls into that category in the very best way. Today, we are going to be talking with Zach and Braylon, who are indeed members of our Ohio State Arm Wrestling Club. Yes, arm wrestling, friends. Arm wrestling, a sport that is rooted in strength, in technique, and in discipline. And I am going to learn a whole lot today about arm wrestling and how this group came together. So we are very excited about this. So whether you are a lifelong athlete or someone who just sort of dabbles in testing your strength or just curious about how do you even establish a club like this one at Ohio State, I think this is going to be the episode for you. So buckle up, everybody. Buckle up. All right. To start us off, I'd love for each of you to introduce yourselves. So tell our community your name, your major, where you consider home to be, what you're studying at Ohio State, but most importantly, what's your role in the arm wrestling club? How did you get involved? They want to know all the things. So whoever wants to get started.
You kick us off.
Okay.
Next.
My name is Braylon, and I'm a first-year dietetics major, or human nutrition. And I'm the current vice president of the club. And I heard about it through the involvement fair. I walked past it. I didn't arm wrestle anybody at it, but I walked past it and I thought it was really cool. And I ended up searching it up on the Ohio State app. And I joined through that, and I joined through the GroupMe, and I just looked through that, and I saw where the first meeting was, and I went to the first meeting, and I've gone to everyone since.
He's been fantastic.
So, have you arm wrestled before in a more formal way? Now I'm just super curious.
I actually used to arm wrestle a lot when I was in a marching band, in high school. During band camp and stuff, I used to arm wrestle a lot, there, or just against my friends, but not good technique. It was just just pure just strength, and I was always pretty good at it. And I always beat all my friends, even when I was a freshman, I was beating seniors. And
oh my goodness!
Yeah,
you were really good.
I thought I was pretty good at it, and it was just strength. And then I went there to the first meeting, and I got pretty humbled. There
were a couple more better than you in that room.
At that time, I got beat pretty bad, but I didn't know anything at the time for any technique. I was just doing strength. But now I'd say I'm just a lot better when it comes to technique and stuff.
That's awesome. Where's home for you?
Grove City.
City.
20 minutes from here.
Oh yeah. Well, awesome. Thank you, Zach.
Okay, you gave me a long list. I'll try to remember everything. My name is Zach. I'm a psychology and theoretical mathematics major. My home is in Northeast Ohio, very small town of Madison. And then from the club, I've been in the club since its very beginning, which was 3 years ago. Oh, I'm the third year. I'm sorry, I forgot about that one. I'm currently the president of the club. I actually, similarly, I first saw the club at the involvement fair in the fall, and I went up and I was like, this should be fun, and I'm just so curious. And I thought I was kind of strong, and I went up, got dropped like immediately straight down to the pad. But I was like, I gotta find out more about this. It's so fun. And then like once after maybe like one or even two meetings of starting to do it, oops, sorry. It just I was like addicted. I like couldn't stop. It's so much fun just to be in the actual act of doing it.
So when I'm trying to envision this. You're walking past the table, right? Mm-hmm. You see arm wrestling club, or if they have a table tent or a drape or whatever it is.
Well, first you'll see the crowd, because at all the involvement fairs, there's always a big crowd of people, because everyone whenever they see it is always so curious to walk up. You'll see the crowd, and then if you can get through, then you'll see the table with one of our members and then another person trying it out.
So do you have to try out? Is that your tryout period when you stop at the table? I am fascinated by this. So there's a crowd of people. You're like, I want to do this. I want to learn more. But one of you said, or both of you said, that when you got to the table, you tried it out. Does that mean you actually arm wrestled with someone?
Yeah.
Yes.
We come up, and which we know now, which we didn't know at the time, but they give you a short list of things to do just to make sure that you
don't hurt yourself.
Yes.
Well, that's good.
Stay safe.
We
That's like
appreciate that.
the number one for anyone who walks up. And then we just let people try. And I think usually during the fall, we'll probably keep doing this. We'll have like a sign, if you can beat us, you'll win a donut.
That's good.
Which almost is pretty rare. Sometimes we'll get some people.
Okay.
But it is pretty rare, and it's lots of fun. And normally enough of an incentive to get people to walk up and give it a shot.
Yeah. And then from that, the membership of the group evolves.
Yes.
Typically from that involvement fair.
Yeah, all you have to do is just join it.
Okay.
Join the group.
Join the group me, and then come to like a practice or two, and then like there's no like initiation or like anything like that.
That's good.
Or like a tryout. It's just come and pull, and then if you just keep showing up, you can be part of it. That's all. That's all it takes.
So how many members do you have now?
It's hard to judge like an exact amount. I would say around 15 to 20, and it's hard to judge an exact amount because there's no like expectation or pressure to like come to every meeting or anything like that. Like we just say, here's the space we have reserved. The tables are going to be here. If you want to pull, if you want to arm wrestle, come then. So we have people show up a little late, not stay the whole time, come every other meeting sometimes, that kind of thing. So it's hard to give like an exact number, but probably around 15 to 20 people
That show up for meetings. Wrestling.
Yeah.
What would you say is sort of the level of experience? How many beginners do you have? How many like rock stars that have been arm wrestling for like their whole life, and everybody in between?
In terms of like more formal arm wrestling, we've maybe had 2 or 3 people who have ever like properly done it before. We had we have our one member now, Gustavo, who he is. I think he's an international student from Mexico, and like he was arm wrestling there. So he came in. So like that's really cool. We had someone else who was an exchange student from France last semester, which was cool. It was the same thing where he was arm wrestling back home, and this was the club for him. But no, most people have no training. We get the rock climbers and wrestlers are generally have a bit of a leg ahead.
Yeah.
Yes, because the specific muscles you use in your hand, like one of the and this is a whole argument that I don't even know enough about the sport to have a take on. But one of the most important muscles is the muscle that moves your hand like this, right? Your wrist like this, and that's it. It's very small. It's up higher in this part of your arm.
Do that again.
From here, just straight up.
Okay.
Right? Because if I'm trying to pull my hand back, I don't want it to drop down and retain it.
Got it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So wrestlers and rock climbers will usually have a lot stronger wrists than a lot of other people. Like even people who play like football or even like who do powerlifting. The specific muscles you're using in your forearm, like the very specific stuff, is just not something that you're ever really training. So a lot of people like they'll come in, they'll be very, very strong, but it's still for people anyone in the club who like has some experience and knows what they like should be doing with their hand, it's generally a bit of a cakewalk when they're going against new people. So
yeah, even if that like new person's like stronger in the gym, like a lot stronger in the gym, if the person knows what they're doing, especially like a lot of technique, they'll probably win at least at the beginning until that person gets some technique. Then
because they have technique.
Yeah.
They recognize how to leverage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly.
Especially at the beginning.
Especially at the beginning.
Yeah.
Well, in a few minutes, you're going to help me to figure out how to do what you just did, because what I was doing was not. I have no technique, so this should be fun and embarrassing, friends. Fun and embarrassing. So, what was it like for you to officially establish the club? Because it's been around for how long?
3 years now.
3 years now. So you were one of the very first members of
yes.
the club. Were you the founder?
I was not the founder.
But you
our
were
founder-
you were near the founder.
Yes.
You know the founder.
I mean, I'm the
Oh, yeah.
second president of the club.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
It was him beforehand, and he's graduating, so he left it in good hands, I hope. But
you're being
yes.
very modest. Yes, that's a big deal. So 3 years old. What challenges have you faced along the way in establishing the club and maintaining interest?
We're in a bit of a nice position compared to other clubs because
Okay.
all you need to arm wrestle all you really need is a table, any kind of table, and another person. We have our like arm wrestling tables that are for the sport,
Okay.
that we lug around because those help keep people safe, and it's what you'll see in like an actual competition.
Yep.
But because those are our only real requirements, it's pretty easy to like just have a meeting, pick a time and have a meeting. We've had some difficulty because it's always something that we got to be thinking about with any kind of sport is to keep people safe.
Yeah.
Right. Which that's always a thing. Which I mean, I'm a little banged up right now. We have a couple people in the club. You know, it's always got something. You know, wrist is bothering you a little bit, elbow
someone's always
bothering you a
sore.
little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Because this sport is very hard on your tendons more than your muscles in a way that they're absolutely not used to.
Sure.
In terms of more like I guess governmental stuff, I'll say, it hasn't been too hard, which has been nice because all we need to do is just say, hey, we're gonna be here at this time. Come if you want.
And people show up. Do you have meetings in the union here? Or do you just sort of?
Right now, we're reserving different spaces on North Campus, of like the
North.
North event spaces. Yes.
Okay.
Past
You could
couple
bring
weeks,
your talents to South.
we maybe in the future. I'm not
Yeah.
sure. I'm actually not sure if we're able to have practices in the union.
Oh.
We can't bring the tables. We can't like reserve classrooms because we can't have the tables in there. And I think the union
it.
spaces are the same category. I don't exactly remember.
Okay.
I mean, right now we just set up outside, like by the north,
The
the
clock
north
tower.
clock tower. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you know when it's nice out, everyone likes to be outside, and we can use chalk outside, which is also very nice to have.
Okay.
And also, it gets more people to like stop by because like everybody that walks by like the Scots and like Clock Tower area usually stop by. Like even just yesterday, I probably like went against like 5 or 6 new people, and I got
Really?
2 of them just join the group me.
Yeah, people just walk up because it's so everybody knows what arm wrestling looks like, but they'll see
Yeah.
like these like kind of fancy tables and this whole big group of people. So many people when they'll walk up and give it a try, they'll ask like what are you guys doing? We're like, oh, we're the arm wrestling club. They're like, what are you talking about? Like,
Is that a real
this,
thing?
Yes, very often. Is this all you do? I'm like, I guess we're not here for that long.
But then you get the chance to teach them about the real technique of it. So it's not just this random thing. Like
Yes,
exactly.
there's process and preparation and practice that goes into how one arm wrestles
Yes.
to win. Are there national like arm wrestling clubs across the country that you compete with, or even in the Big Ten?
Not arm wrestling is like still a very very small sport,
Okay.
if you could believe it. So there's no like it's not like an NFL or an MLB or even like a more niche sport like something like tag,
Right,
which there is
right.
like I think
Yeah.
a more official governing body. There's nothing really like that for arm
Okay.
wrestling. So like
Okay.
even like the professional wrestlers at like the top level,
Yeah.
they don't have like there's not like a Super Bowl of arm wrestling or anything like that. Like there
okay.
are some very very large competitions, but even there's not like one official one. So like when you go down levels below that, you know what I mean, like to the collegiate level, there's not really like a league or anything like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're actually right now trying to set up a some kind of joint, maybe practice, maybe tournament, not sure yet, with Virginia Tech has a nice
Oh.
arm wrestling club that we're reaching out to. Like literally like right now, like we've been in
Very
correspondence with them
nice.
Yeah.
at the moment. I think it was College of William and Mary was the other one who we've been trying to just set something up, get something small
Love
going
this.
on. Which we're kind of in. It does put us in a fairly nice position because anything that we would be able to set up with one of these other colleges would be like one of, if not the biggest intercollegiate arm wrestling competitions in America, just because arm wrestling is
So niche.
so niche. Yeah.
Yeah. And it'd be cool to host it
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
in Columbus. It's going to be your job because he graduates in a
Soon,
year.
yeah.
He does graduate soon.
Hopefully,
You're just getting started.
hopefully I can get one. But after I'm gone, he's got another 2 good years.
Another 2
Yeah.
good years. Yeah, I'll be watching for you. How you carry it forward. So, do you all remember your very first arm wrestling match? Like when you learned the technique, you felt like, okay, this is competitive. Do you remember that first time you felt like I know what I'm doing?
You should go first because I'm gonna have to recall. This is farther back for me.
I remember definitely my first time. Like I remember going to the club and the first person I went against. I remember how that went. He beat me pretty bad.
Do you remember who it was?
It was Will. But I will say, after like a month or 2 of training, I started to get like a lot better at the technique. I started beating him pretty bad.
Did you really?
Yeah. And that was probably one of my first serious matches against like him, because it slowly over those 2 months after he like taught me some more,
Yeah.
it like slowly started to get like, okay, he can't hold me here, or like he has to do something to like teach me more.
Yeah.
And then I just got to one point where I was beating him, and I kind of remember what that was like.
Yeah. Well, it feels like you need to get a rematch. Will, I'm calling you on the mat, carpet, whatever it is, table, whatever you all use. Sounds like Will needs to redeem himself. We'll catch up with Will too. Oops, I knocked it away too. So tell me a little bit about your first experience, if you can recall it.
I remember I have like very faint memories of like actually at the involvement fair. I remember the guy. It was his name was Nadav. He's a nice guy. But actually, at the actual meeting, I think my first one was against our founder and at the time president. His name was Owen. And I remember like going up, setting up to the table. He tells me, make sure you do this, just a couple little things at the beginning, because there's a lot to think about once you really understand everything that's going to be going on. But like at the beginning, just little stuff like just pull in this direction, don't push in that direction, that kind of thing. And he was like, whenever you're ready, go ahead. And I just pulling, felt like I was pulling against a brick wall. Just not 1 ounce of movement, not 1 ounce of movement. I'm sitting there like getting red in the face, huffing and puffing. He's like, okay, no, move a little more this way. Good. Back to just neutral, not moving. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this guy's so far above me. Like I'm never gonna be able to get there. But now he does still beat me, but I can make him work a lot better now.
Good. You feel like there's some movement that happens. Before it felt pretty stiff, but now you feel like you can move it in the right direction.
There's a pretty big like, you got to be, if someone's just like maybe like 5 or 10% stronger than you,
Yeah.
they can sit with almost no effort. Like just that little distance
Yeah.
in strength. Technique notwithstanding, obviously there's lots of different stuff you could do there.
Yeah. That's amazing. That's amazing.
He's really good.
Is he really?
At one
Yes.
point, he was 3rd on left arm in the state.
Yes, he
Oh my goodness.
yeah, he was arm wrestling like way
before coming here.
before the club. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Still going now.
Years.
We had a
This is Owen, right?
Yes.
yes,
Okay.
yes,
Yeah.
which will be on our Instagram, which should be linked. We'll have a clip.
Tell us what your Instagram account is. You've already started. Just tell us.
Oh, it's
It might
arm
just-
wrestlers OSU.
It's either OSU.armwrestling or armwrestling.osu. It's one of the two.
I think it's OSU.armwrestling.
I think
But we'll
it's
have clips from our
OSU.
last tournament, which
I
we got a
can't wait
couple of
to
members
watch.
at. Yeah, it was a lot of
Yeah.
fun. But like he's still in the club, but he wasn't there because he's waiting for nationals.
Yeah.
He's waiting for nationals.
Yeah.
So he's like taking up all of his strength right now, like keeping it.
Yeah, basically.
He's spending his time in the dojo, getting stronger.
What's the dojo?
I'm just joking.
Do I want to know? Okay, that sounds great. We'll
Yeah.
keep going. So you have to educate me as we go along, guys. How often do you get challenged outside of the meeting? Like how often do you get challenged from folks other than the tables that you set up outside of North Rec? Are there other settings where people know who you are? And
You mean
just
like arm wrestling
Yeah,
specifically?
arm
Okay, I didn't know if you
wrestling
meant like.
specifically.
you just-
No, sorry, arm wrestling specifically.
I mean, you go ahead first if it's.
I mean, here actually, like in classes, it's been a few times. I want to say, because like I'll tell people I'm in the arm wrestling
Oh,
club.
okay.
I'm like, oh, so are you strong? and then I'll go against them. Maybe that's probably like 3 times this year it happened.
Oh.
in
Yeah.
classes, and then
Any professors? said
No, no
they want-
professors.
Okay.
That'd be
I was
cool, though.
hoping that would be fun to
Yeah,
watch.
just classmates. And then outside of the class, I just like family and friends, like that I've already pulled like before the club.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
I can beat my dad now though.
Can you
Yeah.
really? Was he pretty good before?
Yeah, he always beat me when I was younger, even like before the club.
And now you have pride points.
Yeah,
You are the
exactly.
winner. I like that a lot. Ha ha, Dad. Ha.
I'll say it doesn't have to be too often, not as often as I'd like.
Yeah.
I had like a couple experiences that I can recall specifically where it's one person will find out from someone else, because I'm not gonna go around, I'm great at arm wrestling, anyone who wants to step up, but then they'll come give it a shot, which is fun once, but then like I said before, once one person starts doing it, other people see it happening, and then
yeah.
everyone wants to go, and I'm getting exhausted, and then also it can get a little scary, because it's if you don't have the actual table, and you have people who don't know what they're doing,
Yeah.
then like we, as the person who is informed, we need to be very aware to make sure that they don't hurt themselves at all.
Oh, yeah.
Which it's easy to make sure that that's not the case.
It is?
It's,
Okay.
It's there's some very very specific things that it's like, don't do this very short list of things and you will be okay. But
Okay.
we do need to like be very aware of that, because we
Yeah.
don't want people hurting themselves. We want people having fun.
How does one train?
Number one, above anything else, is just spending time on the
Yeah,
table.
table time.
Okay.
Just arm wrestling other people, practicing. But there's lots of like very specific. It'd be like anything else in the gym. It's like, if I want to get better at doing this, I need to do this with a weight in my hand. It's just for arm wrestling. It's stuff like rotating your hand this way, the other way, straight up, straight in. What am I missing? I mean, even some more stuff like this is a thing, but it's a little more niche. Down is a thing, but it's a little more niche. And all these have like names, like cupping and pronating, or chopping, and cupping.
Chopping.
Yes, and pronating and rising, as well as some stuff to get your biceps stronger, because that's very important.
Yeah.
And then
So working out in the gym is still helpful.
Yes.
Oh, still very
Yeah.
Weights. Okay.
Yeah.
And if you want to, like, for both of us who want to be like going and competing in more proper tournaments, we're
Yeah.
spending time outside of meetings, like at the gym, training, practicing, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
No, you play. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. I like to take cables or like just something and get like an attachment and just go like this with like some resistance. What I should say, some resistance like this, or some like any type of curling like this is always really good.
Okay.
Or like specifically like when instead of like curling like this, you put your hand like this and you curl this way. That's like that's probably better than regular curling for sure.
okay.
So a lot of arm wrestling is like pulling towards your face and this way.
Yeah.
So like getting like strong and like holding weights like this is good. So like that way and then this way, and then also like maybe like wrapping a band around your hand and like putting a weight to the band and going like this with it. Just to practice that, because like obviously like going like this is also like a part of it, or like going like that to all that type of stuff really helps though.
There is
What
also
does stretching look like?
I
Or
guess just
only
go-
so much you can do.
Yeah, just like that.
right.
We don't usually like stretch during arms or anything like that. There is some like fun, like more interesting, very specific to arm wrestling kinds of things. Like I have, instead of just like a regular handle, it's like this thick, and that's something that you use when you're doing your stuff, just because it better simulates you holding a hand, right?
Okay.
And then there's also some stuff that you got to do to kind of build up your frame more, like more
Okay.
your bones and your tendons stuff, because some of the ways that you start to move when you get to a higher level would be incredibly dangerous for someone who has never trained it before. But it's because if you can build up your body, your frame to the point where it can withstand some of the positions you want to put it in, then like that can give you a really big advantage.
This
like-
is intense, guys.
It can be like seeing the professionals or even like a couple levels
Yeah.
above me, like whenever or even having people in the club going against each other when there's people who haven't gone watching, it's always do not do any of the stuff that they're doing, because
Do you
will
really?
hurt yourself.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Because people sort of overestimate their strength, right, until they get with someone that says,
Yeah.
that was easy. Right. And for them, they're doing their level best, right? The best they have, and they're still getting taken down. That would be me.
Like I probably beat like 3 new people yesterday that had like twice the size of biceps as me.
Really?
At his point, he probably beats 99.9% of people who have never arm wrestled before, who are heavier than him. Like even someone 60 pounds heavier than him, he probably beats.
And that's because of the technique.
Yes.
Yeah.
You would attribute all of that to technique and strength, but
Strength, technique,
Yeah.
and the specific strength of like
Yeah,
where
the
in-
strength is.
Yes.
Like on. Yeah.
Because most people,
okay.
you know, even people who are going to the gym, they're not going like this. You know, they're
Right.
not. They're not. They're not training
They're
this.
not
100
doing
times. They're
that.
not doing this.
Yeah.
You know, 100 times.
Yeah. That's incredible, you all. So I would just watching how you all interact with one another. It also feels like this is an organization that helps to create community and friendships. Would you say that that's sort of been a byproduct of creating this club?
Absolutely, without a doubt, for sure. Are the we only have 2 tables at the moment. We'll be getting more, I promise. So
There's special tables that you have to.
yes,
Yeah, yeah.
they get you. They put your arm in the right position. They have what are called pin pads to tell you like when someone has won or lost, and they have a opposite peg for your hand, which also keeps you safe. And they're also a specific height. Like the tables are probably to like around my waist, which would be like 4 feet off the ground ish.
Okay.
Sorry, I lost. Oh yeah, so there's only 4 people can be going at a time, right? So if you have 12 people at the meeting, everyone else is kind of forced to talk to each other for a little bit while they wait to get their time on the table. And it's also just arm wrestling itself as a sport does foster a lot of communication, because I mean you're right there the whole time.
yeah.
You're right there holding hands, you know, really working together. And there's also like there's so much to talk about. Like the person who's going to be best at teaching you in that moment is going to be the person you're pulling with right then, because they're going to be able to feel exactly what you're doing, you know, right, wrong, and that kind of thing. So that also is a very good way to help get people talking.
Is there ever like a stare down while you're doing that? I've made up something in my mind that it's very intense, and you're like staring the person down to try to distract them from focusing on that. I don't know. Tell me, is that true or I'm making that up?
Maybe walking up to the table or like before the match. But
But not during. Okay.
during it, typically, you have to look at your hand. Like, you
Yes,
want to
you're
watch
watching
your hand.
Oh.
Yeah, you're watching your hand. Make sure like everything's like tight and in line, so you don't hurt yourself.
And you want to see what they're doing.
And
See
also
what are they
they're-
trying to do? Like what are they
Yeah.
going for? So you want to keep. So if they're going for something, you want to kind of move the opposite way, kind of anticipate what they're doing, that kind of thing.
But there is a like really good professional. His name is like Devin Larrett. He's like probably one of the best in the world. He smacks talk. Like he'll like hold people like mid match, or like he'll talk to them. Like he went against someone who spoke German, and he started speaking German to their foreign language to them.
Yeah.
And he's Canadian. So I mean that's different. But like everybody else, like look at your hand for sure. Not like staring at the other person.
I really wanted
It's
that
a
to be
it's
a
a
thing.
it's a good mix, because like arm wrestling is niche enough where like kind of everyone around us knows each other. Like the tournament we had in Cincinnati, a lot of the people who were pulling in the like professional bracket as opposed to the amateur bracket, like most of them, they are kind of already knew each other, because it's small enough where you're seeing the same dudes at the same places. But at the higher level, it absolutely provides for like some very, very good like trash talk and smack talk, because you can very easily get in a position where like both people are pulling very, very hard, but they can just talk to each other, and they're right there, so they can hear each other very clearly. But it is like there's a lot of love in the arm wrestling community, because it's the same dudes. Like if you're gonna try to form some kind of rivalry or something with another guy, it's like you can, but you're probably gonna see him in like a month, and even if you don't see him, you all know the same other like 10 dudes, so it's just not really worth it.
Yeah, and on that, the tournament we actually went to, Owen, who was like the last president, the founder, he like went there. He showed up late just to support us, like showed up late and watched us to support us. But he probably knew like multiple people there. He's like that he pulled like he went against in the past.
Wow.
Probably more than half of the people in the tournament or organizing it as well.
Yeah, he knew everybody, and there was a good amount of people there, especially like spectators, and then like people, it was a pretty like
It's like 80 total entrants, I think.
80 actual
Really?
and then like a lot more people watching it as well.
And where does this take place? What kind of facility? Did I ask a bad question?
No, you asked a fantastic question. It was, you remember the name?
It was like Hobson I can't remember.
It was a bar. It was a bar that they had moved some of the tables out of the way.
Yeah.
Some of the actual
could say
tables
it
out of the
was
way.
a bar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's
Yes.
I
I wish I could remember the name, but
I was thinking, is it in a big gym, auditorium? Okay.
It was really cool though. It had like a giant like a really big garage door that kind of opened to like the outside.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of outside seating, and it was like an open like bar area.
Yeah.
It was really really nice.
It was a nice space, but absolutely not a space for arm wrestling.
Yeah.
Like it was
Yeah.
a space that they were able to fit the tables in and do it there. So like probably we'll be doing something similar when we do get something organized, either next semester or the semester after. We'll just find a spot where the tables fit and do it there.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to forget. Let's talk about how to get you 2 more tables. I'd love to support you all in that way.
The goal right now is
that was-
Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
Let me know. I'd love to support helping you to
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
get those. Yeah. So we're going to wrap up, but I can't let you leave without doing 2 things. One, you get to do a plug. So come up with something good in the next few seconds about sort of why the arm wrestling club and what people can expect if they join. And then you have to show me the technique. I don't want to get injured. I don't want to look like a winner. I just want to look like and feel like I'm learning more about how you do this so successfully. Does that sound okay?
That sounds great.
All right. Who wants to start with the plug?
I'll plug our club, of course.
Yeah.
Just got a new exec board president here, vice president over here. Shout out to our treasurer John and our social media chair Eddie, who manages our Instagram OSU at osu.armwrestling. Like I think you should look that up real quick.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
We have our group me. If you go on like the OSU's club directory or anything like that, you can find our club. Our group me should be linked there along with our email list. And we have our meetings right now. They're 6:30 to 8. We'll have a meeting. Although I don't know when this will come out, but next Tuesday, which will be, I think, the 20th of April.
Do you meet
21st.
every
21st?
Tuesday?
Right now, we're meeting every Tuesday.
Okay.
We change the meeting up usually like semesterly, depending on.
To
We just
fit.
send out a when to meet whenever.
Yeah.
anyone-
Got it.
To fit more people.
Yeah, whenever
Okay.
those people are free.
But you post on your social media when the meetings are. And,
On the
the
group
group
me.
right, on the group me.
we send
Okay,
it.
so you
Yeah,
can learn on the
like,
group me.
Yeah, location and time. We'll have one on the. You said the 21st.
Yeah, 21st.
Okay, the 21st, and then
Okay.
probably another meeting on reading day if you're interested. Those will both probably be outside by the clock tower, if I'm thinking correctly.
time?
6:30 to 8, probably. The one on reading day might be a different time, though.
So they just need to
Get in the
join
group
the
me.
group me,
Yeah.
follow the social, get up.
Follow the Instagram. I'll make sure it's posted for that one.
Braylon, why should someone want to join?
If you, I don't want to say this.
You're good. They can cut this out.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, there you go. Don't apologize.
It was a lot of fun. Like I was just like
Yeah.
the main thing is a lot of fun. Like I love it. I always look forward to it every Tuesday. Like even if I'm like having a more bad day like at classes.
Yeah.
I'm always looking forward to going and just like going against people. Like even just not even like going against people, just talking to people. It's fun. Like it's a good group. Like we're all friendly, all nice to talk to. And if you just want to get stronger. At
Yeah.
the sport, or like if you want to get stronger against like your parent, your dad, or or your friends, it's cool to beat people.
Yeah.
And it's just good. It's fun to get good at something, and especially something that's like more niche and there's a good community behind it.
Yeah.
The safest combat sport is what we say sometimes.
Safest combat sport. Okay, well, I'll learn in a second if I believe that or not, right? When you show me sort of how we do this. It seems to me, too, that you all have been able to build such positive relationships. And I imagine having this and being a member of this club also helps to balance all the things that happen in the classroom, all the responsibilities of being a student. Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You have something else to look forward to after that
In terms
CAM
of, like-
exam or that whatever the big test might be.
I've actually had a club member say that like he had an exam on Tuesday and he did bad on it and it like ruined his day, but like going to arm wrestle actually made it better. He looked forward to it after.
Yeah.
In terms of stress relief, it's great. You're hanging out with people. You are still exerting yourself physically, like much more of your upper body than you would actually think. And you're just able to chill out, relax a little bit. It's a very good time.
That's awesome. Thank you all so much for joining today. And thanks, everybody, for watching and for listening. I hope that this inspires you all. If you haven't found a club to be a part of, I hope that you will. If there's not one that you see of the 1,400 that we have at Ohio State that you think meets your fancy, the great thing is that you can start one. Everything is possible at Ohio State. So just jump right in, wrestle right in. So just watch for 1 second. I'm going to learn a little bit, and we're going to end this after I demonstrate my strength to Braylon here. How does that sound?
To me?
Yeah, you sound like you're very fancy. So, okay,
So-
show me what I'm doing.
So for some safety techniques, I have to go. That's what I go with like every person who's
Okay.
starting new. You
Yep.
always look at your knuckle,
Okay.
and typically you'd have someone they grab onto like right here, and I'd like tell them like keep their elbow off the table,
Okay.
and keep their shoulder square.
Okay.
You don't want to have one shoulder out or
You
like
wanna be
one shoulder out that
square.
way. You want
Okay.
to have your shoulder square, and you want to stay tight. And at first you want to imagine pulling towards your face, because people probably think to go this way.
I would.
You would think to go this way.
Yeah.
But that puts your shoulder in like an out of line position, and it's just bad. It's causes
Bad
something.
form.
Yeah, bad form. You want to like pull back towards your face, and also like pull up to the ceiling, pull up and back to your face.
Oh, okay.
So like kind of like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
You would do that. Yeah, kind of like that.
You're too strong.
And-
Come on, Braylon. Give me a win here.
And then
He's like, no.
when you would get up here, you would typically pull like back towards this way. So towards you would be like up and then
This
that
way.
way. Correct. And that's like the basic techniques. It's called top rolling, where you just
Okay.
go like that. There's other techniques where it's called like hooking, where you go like inside like this.
Ooh, I like
or you,
that.
or you get tight like that. That's what I do. But it's also
you
a little
take
more
them down.
Yeah, it's also a little more dangerous. So that's thing that, or I was going outside, where instead of like pulling up like that, I try to go around your fingers and pull your fingers back this way. Yeah, that's another way.
Okay.
But do you want to try top rolling? Or like pull up
Yeah.
the ceiling? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So try to get like high like that. And
Oh,
then
okay.
Squeeze and then also like pull up toward your face while you pull back. There you go.
How's that?
It feels strong, very strong.
You all heard it. It feels strong.
And then
That's
you just
awesome.
pull back that way, and then it would have me ending up like that. If we were on a better table, yeah.
Yeah. This is so good.
Uh-huh.
Anything else you think I should know?
But in terms of the actual technique, I did want to just briefly, because
Yeah.
it's very interesting. So like what he was talking about, the top rolling, the idea is I don't want to go try to push through your hand. I want to try to pull myself through your fingers, right? So what can happen sometimes is if both people are trying to do that, they'll actually slip out. And we have a special little band that we tie around the hands that
Oh.
keeps them together. Then the other kind of like it's a bit of a triangle, right? So if I'm trying to top roll and get through your fingers, what
Yeah.
you can do is you can turn your hand like this, and then you're trying to get contact here on the wrists, right?
Yeah.
Because if I'm pulling on your wrist, it doesn't matter what your hand is doing, right? Even if my
Right.
hand is stronger than yours, if the point of connection is down
the
here,
wrist.
it doesn't matter, yeah. And then so the last thing, which is kind of like what the rock, paper, scissors is if you can push your hand, if you have me in a hook like this, I'll push my hand down and try to just pull through your fingers that way to try to get you opened up, right?
Oh, yeah.
But then that puts you in a good position to go into a top roll over me because I've already dumped my wrist. And that's
Yes.
kind of the rock, paper, scissors that happens with arm wrestling. And like even within each of those, there's like lots of very other deep things about like the exact way you want to be positioned. Like even during the setup is like a whole thing. All this stuff, like
Really?
I've learned something new about arm wrestling every single meeting I've gone to because there's just so much.
That's
The
incredible.
technique is just so much deeper than you would actually expect.
Thank you all so much for joining us. And if you haven't at least gone to watch the Arm Wrestling Club, you should. I mean, it's pretty cool.
Swing by, take a step up to the table.
There you go. All right, everybody. Thank you. Go Bucks. This program is a presentation of the Office of Student Life at The Ohio State University. The views expressed are those of the host and guest and do not necessarily reflect those of the university. Join us next time for another edition of Docs Download, the podcast edition.